Hi, thank you for joining us today. I'm Jill Goff, Radian WECO Software Support Specialist. Today we're going to be talking about retrieving, editing, and extracting data in the WATNet suite. That will include WATNet Basic, WATNet Express, WATNet Limited, and WATNet Plus. In our software, there are two areas where you can retrieve data. Our equipment editor, you'll be able to query, view, edit, and extract the data. In our reports editor, you can query, build reports, and save them, and extract data. In our Winboard 2 software, you may be familiar with it, and there were three options of icons to use. The first would be for testing, the next would be administration, and the third would be the WATNet Data Viewer, which is the reporting. And bringing up the software, that's what we would have all wrapped up into one package. Winboard would be your testing icon, admin would be your administration, and your WATNet Data Viewer is the equipment and the reports, and that's where we're going to be working today. So we'll start over here on the left on the top at the equipment editor. You can retrieve sites, meters, CTs, PTs, standards, and transducers. Today we're going to just focus on electric meters, but the search criteria is similar for all of the equipment options as well as the site information option. So we'll go from equipment editor to electric meters. And that is going to pull up your search criteria screen. Notice there are two tabs, the search criteria as well as the results. Your search criteria, generally you can search by equipment number, either one or a range. You can search, add manufacturers in there. You can include a test date or not. And then the options down below are the fields that you can further trim down the information and sort by. Okay, and you can get that little bit better view. If you want to search all meters in your population, and we're talking meters, not tests, you can use a percent sign, which is a standard wildcard. You can use that at any time during this if you don't have a specific meter number. And if you want all meters that don't have any correlation to a test date, you just want to see the population of electric meters in your database, you use the wildcard and click OK. You're going to get this meter window. When you get these, you're going to want to pay attention. This is just going to let you know that using the wildcard can increase your searches. Anything greater than 100,000 records being retrieved in a query, it will not let you return it. It will take entirely too long, and so you will need to try to narrow it down a little bit, whether it's by form or date or manufacturer or some other identifying feature. But you will get this every time you use a wildcard. And this is your list of your equipment numbers. And again, we searched by equipment numbers, not tests. You get a total down here at the bottom, 544. And so you will select OK. And up at the top, you see you've got some options here. Looks like you can go to next. You can go to last. You can move to previous or first. You can scroll through them one at a time. And as you'll see, some have test data, some don't, but we retrieved by equipment number, not test. Okay. To go back, you click this retrieve arrow up at the top in the toolbar. And your last result will always be populated. If you don't want this query, simply go back to the search criteria And let's narrow it down a little bit, and let's do a test date of today. So we want all meters, wildcard, that were tested today. Again, you're going to get this error or this message. And there you go. There were 4 meters tested today. You get the count at the bottom. Click OK. And again, you have the option to scroll through them. This is used a lot of times when testers need to review their work for the day, or admins who need to do reports and verify data can go in here by date, by meter number individually, and not only look up the data, but the nice part in here is you can edit the data. You cannot edit a meter number, you cannot edit a test date, and you cannot edit the information in the accuracy window. But you can edit meter type, manufacturer. You can change this. You can add a comment. You can add a reading. So as you scroll through, you're able to make sure that you've done all your correct work. Well, this one doesn't have a test location, and it was tested in the field, and it was a high bill. Okay. But it tested okay. Okay. You've got readings. So you made those edits in there. You just want to make sure you save them. On the bottom, blue toolbar, that's your friend. That's going to give you the last known command, so that will tell you it was saved. If you click on it or hover over it, you'll also get the history. So let's continue on and review. We have another one. We want to do, we'll do a shop test on this one, and we'll just say it was a routine test. This one doesn't have comments, but that's okay. You don't have to have comments. If you look, this comment was associated in February 19th of 2019, which in the drop-down you see was the previous test. Okay? So you can query previous tests by switching the date. If you want to export this data, you can export up here at the top, and it will only export the current record you are looking at. So you would click OK, and that was a very quick message, but that is going to export to the location that is defined in the export structure in your administration. And we do have webinars and assistance available discussing exports as well if you need them, exports and imports. You can also, if you have a print test card defined, you can make a test card that will encompass this information and print it out in a somewhat report fashion. But this is primarily in the equipment editor, is for retrieving individual or small batches of meters, doing editing, spot checks, things of that nature. If you want to do more of a report functionality, we're going to go to the reports editor on the left, right below equipment. And today we're only going to go into the WATNet basic WATNet reports. These are site reports, and we do have information on that as well if you're interested. And this would be your standards compare report. So if you're doing annual standards compare testing, you can print those up in here. But for the basic WATNet reports, you're going to be able to select, again, your equipment type up here. We will stick with electric meter, but again, your options will be available for the other equipment types. You can search by individual equipment number here, same as the other one. So we can pick that. We're not sure of the date. You have two options. You can uncheck it and build. This is going to give you all the tests for that meter, and it's going to be by step. So there's your full load, your light load, your power factor and weighted average, and that's for the test on July 2nd, 2018. For the April 2nd test, your full load, light load, power factor, and weighted average, as well as all of your meter test information. You can export this as well. You can export it to CSV, Excel, text, and HTML. You can simply save it and it will print up and it'll look like this. It'll give you your header and there's your data. And this can be for 1 meter. You can do it for a range of meters. You can do it for a date range. So if you want to see everything that was tested this year, you can simply type the dates or use the calendar functionality. You can display the test results in a single row only when you have a test date selected. And you build again. So here is your test results in a single row for the 4 tests that were done today, as well as the accuracies, meter information, and your test information. Again, same export fields are available. If you want to see a specific meter and you want it to be in a detailed test result, you can pick it, the output to be changed. It will give you a message every time that this is available only for electric meters. So your CT, PT tests, none of those are available in this type of report. And what you would do is build it, and it comes into more of a visual. So if this needs to go to a representative that needs to send it out to customers or translate the information to customers, if it needs to be attached into a report or any need like that, you can export it to Excel, a PDF, or a Word document. Okay. Now, if you have a monthly report or a quarterly report that you need to do, you can build the report that you want. So say we want the first 3 months. We're going to include today because I know there's test dates in there. But you want it to be all meters, so you don't need a wildcard in this. And we're going to make it back to default. And you want to see it all in a single row. And you only need to know the routine tests. Let's see what the routine tests are. And you can build. Okay, 3 of the 4 were routine tests. You can do this for periodic. You can do it for if you're required to do a random sample every year. You can show that by month. You can select by tester ID and see how many were done if you need a report. But let's say you want a routine test and you don't want any of your element tests results in there. You're trying to keep it nice and clean so you don't have to look at all those blanks, and you want to put it on a smaller report. Okay, so you take out what you don't want, and let's build it just to make sure it's a little bit more manageable. Okay, so this is the way you want it. Every month you're going to need to run this report. You go to Manage Reports once you've built it and gotten it the way you want it, and you save as, and we're going to call this Routine Report. And OK. You've got it. Let's fast forward to a month from now, next quarter, whenever the next time is you need to run that report. You go back in to WhatNet Basic Reports, and you have the default layout. You can load your report, your routine report, and all of your preferences that you had selected before are there. And all you would need to do is change your date or manufacturer or whatever option it is that you have that defines this report. I will tell you that this is a user-defined option. So if you have routine reports on one PC, you cannot go to another PC and find your reports. This saves everyone from having to look at everyone else's reports. This is specified and defined strictly for each individual user. If you no longer need that report, you can come in here and delete it. You can rename it, anything you want. Okay? Delete it, takes it out of there. That will conclude the demonstration of those features today. If you have any questions regarding this presentation, please contact us either at our technical support email address or our software support email address. You can also call us with the phone numbers on the screen. We thank you for attending, and we hope that we will see you in the future for another WebEx. Bye-bye.